HarperVia and HarperAudio present The Cursed Friend, a novel by Beatrice Salvioni. Translated from the Italian by Elena Pala. Performed by Carlotta Brentan. To the girl I once was, and above all, to those who taught me never to stop listening to her. Prologue. Don't tell a soul. It's hard to get a dead body off yours. I found out at the age of 12, blood streaming down my nose and mouth, panties twisted around my ankles. My back was deep in mud on the banks of the Lambro, shingles sharp as fingernails biting into my neck and bare buttocks. His body was heavy on my belly, all hard edges, still warm. A glazed, blank look had settled on his face, and white froth was gathering on his chin, a foul smell emanating from his parted lips. He'd looked at me before he collapsed, fear twisting his features, a hand still fumbling in his pants. His dilated, inky pupils seemed to pool and spill over his cheeks. Then he'd slumped onto me, his knees still pinning my thighs open. He wasn't moving anymore. "I just wanted him to stop," said Maddalena, pawing at a clump of mud, blood, and tangled hair on her head. "I had to do it. I had no choice." She started walking toward me, the light dress she wore clinging to her wet skin and outlining a stark, sinewy figure. "I'm coming," she said. "Don't move." But I hadn't managed to move at all. My body was like an abandoned alien shell, a tooth that had fallen out of its mouth. All I felt was blood on my tongue and lips as I struggled to breathe. Maddalena dropped to her hands and knees next to me, shingle crunching under her naked legs. Her socks were soaked, and she was missing a shoe. She began pushing at his chest with both arms, using her elbows, then her forehead. She kept trying, but the body wouldn't budge. Things are heavier when they're dead, like that cat in Noah's backyard, covered in dirt, sticky guts peeking out of his stomach, and a cloud of flies feasting on his snout and eyes. We'd buried him together, behind the goose pen. "I won't manage by myself," said Maddalena, wet hair sticking to her forehead and dripping on the pebbles. "You have to help." Her voice sloshed around my skull, louder and louder. With great effort, I managed to slide one arm from under his body, then the other. I pressed my palms against his chest and pushed. Above us, the arches of the bridge and a square of murky sky. Below, slippery, wet pebbles. All around us, the roar of the river. "You have to give it one big push." I did as I was told. With every breath, I inhaled the sweet, sickening scent of his cologne. Maddalena looked at me. "Now," she ordered. We pushed together. I let out a piercing cry, arched my spine, and suddenly he peeled off, flopping on his back next to me, eyes and mouth wide open, pants pooling at his knees, belt buckle clattering on the stones. As soon as I felt the weight lift from my body, I turned on one side, spitting red saliva on the pebbles, rubbing my fingers over my nostrils and lips to wipe off his smell. For a moment, I felt like the air was being sucked out of my lungs. Then I curled my legs against my belly and tried to breathe again. The elastic band on my panties had snapped, and the fabric was torn where it had gathered under my heel. I angrily kicked them off and pulled down my skirt, which was bunched up above my navel. My belly was cold, and I ached all over. Maddalena stood, wiping her palms on her thighs to scrub off the mud. "Are you all right?" she asked. I bit my lip and nodded. My throat felt like a dam about to crack, but I didn't cry. Maddalena had taught me well. Crying was for idiots. Her eyes small and hard, she raked the wet hair off her forehead, then pointed at the body. "We've no hope of moving him too far. We'll have to hide him here," she continued, licking the dried blood under her nose. I rose to my feet and joined her. My legs were quaking. The smooth soles of my shoes kept slipping on the wet stones, and I held on to her, fingers wrapped around her wrist. The
Sample complete. Ready to continue?